just gonna do a little Leviathan. Been a while since I recorded a video, so this is mostly to just test out audio and make sure everything's working. It's the first time I've recorded RuneScape, so make sure that comes through clearly and there aren't any issues as well. Really sure what to talk about. Go through and describe the boss. Haven't fought it before. Or if you just don't play RuneScape. You'll fire off like 3 different colored projectiles that correspond to a protection style you need to use. They're magic, melee, or ranged. Green ones are ranged, blue magic, and red for melee. And then he speed up each time he goes through a cycle. Speed up or add complexity. So the first one is ranged and magic with like a 3 tick speed, which is a tick is 0.6 seconds. And then he will, after the first cycle, he will add in melee, or he'll speed up to 2 ticks. And it's the third cycle where he adds in melee. Fourth cycle where it's all 3 at 2 ticks, and then after that I usually use the, like, there's a mechanic where you cast a freezing spell on him, or like a stun spell. It interrupts it and he does a special attack. That was the lightning that happened earlier. And that slows it down or puts him back in the cycle to like one of the earlier times. He will speed up again as you go through. Until he gets down to, it's like, it's right below 180 HP, where he will do it in rage phase. The Webweaver bow spec, like Webweaver bow special attack, you pretty much skip the entire thing, so really an issue. But in rage phase, he will summon a little orb you have to follow. If you're outside of the AoE of it, you'll take extra damage. But while you're inside it, you will do bonus damage. Fairly short fight. I think that kill was pretty fast. Crazy fast. Definitely a pretty good kill. Two different special attacks you can do after you interrupt him. One was the lightning, and there's another where he shoots some rocks. This time it will be the lightning. You can see based on where the first rock he drops go. I'm not used to doing this boss while talking. Probably make more mistakes than I usually do. But, yeah, you can see that what the first special attack will be based on where the rocks drop, and then after that it will just alternate. There, because I didn't get the spell off fast enough, he got 1 attack off, which can be kind of dangerous if you let it go to some of the farther like tiers of his attack speed. Especially if you're not used to it, he'll start firing out attacks very quickly, even at the end. Like, he'll get a few attacks off before you stun him. If you stun too late, and that can cause a lot of damage if you're not paying attention. Special attack probably looks pretty weird if you're not experienced with RuneScape, because it's the way the game time works, so like each update in the game works. Like game update, not like... It's hard to explain this. Each time what's happening in the game updates events in game, like each attack. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this. I'm almost out of prayer. Finish this kill and then try to explain it better. trying to explain it for someone who might not play the game at all. A lot of things I'm thinking of saying that just don't make any sense if you don't play the game. Pretty much each frame of the game, it works a little differently. Each frame, or not frame, but like something similar to a frame, happens every 0.6 seconds. It's the ticks I was talking about earlier. Everything happens at once, I guess. I'm doing an absolutely dreadful job of explaining this. But it's like the internal game clock, I think is the best way of explaining it. Moves forward one step every 0.6 seconds. So if you, with the lightning, it's on one tile at one game tick, and the next one it skips to to a different one. So if at the same time you move to the one it previously was at, you don't get hit by it because it's already at the next one. I'm not sure if that makes a ton of sense, but the best way I could think of explaining it. Some of the tiles I have marked are just for like convenience. You don't have to do it how I do. Like these specific spots, it's just makes it easy to like not think too much. Yeah, here once you hit his back once and then move to the other tile, and you can get 2 more attacks off with a 4-tick weapon. So if you're using a crossbow, you have to do it a little differently, but with a bow or I guess another 4-tick weapon, I don't know if there are many others other than bows. You can get 2 attacks off, and then you got to keep moving in between. You move to from one tile to the other and just get an attack off at either end. So every time he phase changes between his attacks, he will drop a boulder where you're standing. So I'm gonna move to avoid that. This phase can be pretty, or when you first get to it, for like learning the boss, pretty overwhelming. But like great way to just figure it out, just trying a bunch. But just try to. If you're having a lot of trouble with it, just wait until he attacks with the same style several times in a row and use that opportunity to get attacks off. Just focus on your prayers until then. I guess after this kill, over the gear I'm using, it's mostly just Bofa with full crystal. And then Lightbearer for the special attack energy, recharging faster. With less kills where I don't have the web hooper specs ready. I don't have ranger boots. I could buy them, but it's just they don't seem worth it. Small amount of accuracy for what they cost. I'm using this Bando's D'hide boots, or God D'hide, or whatever they're called. I've thought about maybe using Devout boots instead, just for extra prayer, because that way I could bring a little bit more food. The one issue you sometimes have with trips, or at least I do, is that sometimes I don't get a supply drop soon enough into the trip. Gotta just leave. You don't get a food drop. Do this. You can either get the supply drop, which happened earlier, which was the turtles in the prayer potion, or there's an anglerfish drop on just a loot table that's unnoted. That can extend the trips by a lot. Props wise, I think I've gotten most of what I wanted from this boss. I haven't gotten any Virtus pieces, which would be kind of nice as a magic upgrade. Here, most of it's pretty generic. Crystal, Bofa, Ava's. I don't have a better blessing. Armor or ammo slot. They're just sparrows. I don't have the Serite Vambraces. You can definitely kill this boss with less gear. Just using a crossbow. I don't think it'll be too bad. I haven't done it, so I can't really say. But I'll probably just have to go through more special attacks. And then the longer attack time can be more annoying for some stuff. Usually I'll try to wait to get a extra attack off at the end of a phase, like a phase change. But if you're using a longer attack style, you might have to give up some attacks. Oh, forgot to attack again there. You can get 2 attacks off in that waiting phase, similar to the lightning phase. This is the rock attack. It's like you attack him, and then you move into wherever you want to start the rocks falling. Attack 2 more times. When the first rock falls, you move to 1 tile over and attack immediately. And then realize he's taking some. Just kill first. I misclicked. Yeah, so you attack, you move to the first tile, and you attack 2 more times, or was it? I think it's attack. You attack 1 more time, then he shoots a rock at you. You move 1 tile over, immediately attack. You move 1 more tile over. After that, after like you try to get. It's hard to. I'm not doing a great job explaining it once again. You want to get, yeah, you interrupt him, you interrupt the stun, go to whatever tile you want to start the rocks falling on, you attack him once, and you wait until he attacks. Once he starts shooting rocks at you, move 1 tile over and attack. Then I think it's, you move, and then wait until you, like, actually, your character actually gets the tile you're moving to, like the animation finishes, and then move again, and then attack immediately. And then just repeat that until it finishes, and then at the corners, there are, like, I don't know how precise it is, but there are spots where the, like, scream he does at the end of that attack will not hit you. It's kind of just testing it or looking. You have a place where you set up, like, tiles to do it. You can just see if the animation of the scream goes onto one of those tiles. And that will let you know if you're safe to stand there and keep attacking. And if you're just learning the boss, it's perfectly fine to just play it safe and just walk 10 tiles, like walk 5 and then walk 5 behind it to be safe for the rocks. It just lets you get a little bit more damage off. Oh, and once again, this is with the Vortic weapon. If you're using a crossbow, it's going to be different. I was talking about drops and then just like completely went to something else, but I've gotten 2 vestiges pretty early on. Got very lucky with that, and then since then haven't gotten another for like 600 kills, but got very lucky the first one, so not really expecting it. Just kind of doing this until I get the next one to move on to a different of the Desert Trigger bosses. I got 3 of the Leviathan lures, the axe pieces. So I want to move on to another boss. Also, I got, 99 ranged here. another reason I'm not getting any more XP, so I want to move on to a different boss. I think what I might actually end up doing is doing some TOA to get Fang. Because I could buy it, but it feels like with melee especially, buying Fang just kind of finishes melee upgrades, and that doesn't feel great to just... Especially with the Fang price going down, to just spend like 22 mil and just be done upgrading melee from then on. I'd rather earn it before like just finish melee. Wanted to at least get the Fang drop, and it's like it's an achievable drop for like magic. I bought the Sanguine SD because that seems like a much less achievable drop comparatively. Doing Theater of Blood to get a drop like that compared to doing TOA to get like it's like tied for most common drop. One's like, at least when I was starting game playing RuneScape, it seemed much more doable. So I'll probably go until I get another vestige, then go do TOA until I get the Fang, and then either Vardorvis or the Duke. Thinking probably Vardorvis. Duke does not. The prep phase I'm not really interested in doing repeatedly, but I guess I will eventually do it for the axe piece. It'll be kind of cool to finish a bunch of axes. The Soul Reaper axe is created from a part from each of the 4 Desert Treasure 2 bosses. The pieces are untradeable, so until you get all 4 drops from the 4 different bosses, not really worth anything. Like hit, just one shot him with our first Webweaver bow spec. Webweaver bow is very good here because it hits, it shoots 4 attacks which normally aren't super accurate, but since the little AoE that the Leviathan spawns makes it so you're automatically hit like some percentage of the weapon's max hit. Where it would normally be like kind of inconsistent damage, it becomes very consistent. And it's just much higher DPS, the cost of the spec. If you don't have the Webweaver bow, I think there are other options. I don't know all of them. Guess if you're doing this boss, you probably aren't going to be using a magic short bow spec on it, but I guess you could use that. It's a double hit, might be a little bit, might be okay. And I don't know if the dark bow is any good. It seems like it would be because it's like similar mechanics of like a multi-hit attack. And there's, I think it's the dragon axes or throwing axes or whatever. I think they also have a multi-hit attack that's decent. I know people use that at Zolra for like speed running. I'm not sure if it would be any good here. You can always check the OSRS wiki. It will be a much better resource for this than I am. But there are definitely other options if you don't have the money for Bowfun Crystal or a Boober Bow. Another thing that might help if you're learning the boss is to stand farther back. Or at least for me, I find when you stand too close, the arcs for his attacks get really weird. It makes it harder for me to dodge them. I think it just they overlap more. Also, you don't want to have rocks in the way of where you're going to be traveling later. And one thing to be careful for is if you try to attack from behind a rock, you can't actually shoot over these. There's the anglerfish drop. I was wondering if I was going to have to stop the trip early, but last kill. Got a resupply. But it's the same with the rocks. You can't attack over them. So when you're following the Abyssal Pathfinder, the little orb he spawns around, just be careful of that because you will get dragged very far around it. Get your attack off, and sometimes it will send you the wrong direction out of the safety. If you're doing it in a similar setup this where you get it off the first special attack, or you don't go to the second special attack, you could do these earlier, like closer up. I think it would speed it up a tiny bit. With the run around later. But it's not really needed, and I find it more chill like this. One kind of funny thing with that, or it might just be me finding it funny, but when I was first learning this boss, I saw videos of people doing like a method for the lightning dodge where you could walk instead of run, which would make it save one space by not having to... Oh, can you get there? I messed that up. But the lightning dodge, normally you have to run to get the dodge off. It was a method to use the rock to drag you out, and so you'd only have to walk. A little bit... I'm probably not great at explaining it. You probably noticed many things. But I just find it funny that there's like that method was floating around or people were doing that, but I guess at least for me, maybe you need high enough agility, but you just don't need a stamina potion anyways. And I'm going for pretty long trips usually, so I think it's like I don't need a stamina potion even going for very long trips, so I think unless you're going for even longer trips, maybe with higher gear, you would end up going for longer, but so there. Bad click. Yeah, when I was first learning it, there was just a super complicated, like, tick perfect method for dodging the lightning that would let you walk instead of run, and then it turns out don't even need it. For a while, when I was learning the boss, I was taking the stamina potions just to make sure I didn't have to worry about it. But once you figure it out and also know when you can walk instead of run, there are plenty of places in the boss where you can walk instead of running 2 tiles, or just save run energy a little bit. Especially with the way I'm doing it on the walk back, or run back to this tile where I start it, you can walk that. If you go fast enough after the boss dies. That's a good way of saving run energy, but it just makes so you don't need a stamina potion, so you can take a little bit more supplies. To be a little bit careful in this run over to the other side, because if you aren't paying attention to where the rocks are dropping before, not after you stun, you can just run into one if you click on the other side of him without paying attention. If you go back there, as I clicked over, there was a rock falling in the path that automatically set me on, but since I had waited a tiny bit longer, I wasn't going to be hit by it. Easy way to die. Another thing to worry about is you attack, you can't immediately cast, there's still an attack delay before you can cast a spell. So if you attack right after the phase change, or right before the phase change, or and then try to cast a spell but click too quickly after, you can interrupt your cast with the movement command. Then If you're not paying attention, you run straight past Leviathan and just he bites you and you die. So be a little careful with that. I could probably do another kill here, but since I'm talking, I'm not playing as well, so I'm just going to go back. My house does not look great, but at least pretty high level. I don't have great teleports to banks, so I just use the Castle Wars one. You can use cheaper food. You don't want to spend the extra on anglerfish. You could also, I'm not sure, it's probably worth just using super restores, but I usually find I'm not running out of prayer potions. I guess maybe I could take super restores, take one less prayer potion, and then take a little bit more food. I found this setup works out pretty well for me. Paying attention. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. I find with this boss, I've done it a decent bit. This is the first boss I like farmed this much. I did the point where I kind of stopped paying attention sometimes, and especially on that first, before the special attack, before I freeze it, sometimes forget which like tier of attack speed I'm on, or like the boss is on, and forget to freeze it. I can do the higher tier prayer flicks, but not great at it, and if I'm not paying attention, I won't be ready for it. That's got me killed a few times. I know that kill's a little dangerous. He was getting to like the next tier of attack speed. I was just about to, so it's like I probably should have frozen it, I'm not sure. It was close enough that I got, if I had missed a couple attacks in a row, I would have been prayer flicking on the higher attack speed. I might have taken a few hits, like unneeded hits. Worked out. The gear setup I have and like levels, I usually don't have any issue killing it after the first special attack. There's like occasionally I won't do enough damage. I'll have to either freeze it again or risk doing the prayer flicks at a higher attack speed. This is one of the spots where you can just walk. Or running, save a little bit of run energy. Kind of depends on what special attacks you're getting the most. If you get the rock special attack first, you'll usually have plenty of run energy. But if you get the lightning special attack first a bunch of times in a row, you might end up running a little low. That's when I would suggest you just run a little bit, or walk a little bit more. This area you need to stay in. One thing to make sure is that you're a little bit ahead of where you think it is, or like you stay at the front of it. Because like most things in RuneScape, where they actually are is a little bit ahead of where it looks like they are. You want to play it safe by being near the front or a tiny bit ahead of it. Don't take unnecessary damage. Also with these bosses, if you do it without taking any I forget what the actual wording of it is, but it might be unnecessary damage. If you don't take any unnecessary damage, which is like not the chip damage, you get a perfect kill and you get 50% more loot. So even though a lot of the money from it comes from the uniques, still is nice to get bigger loot drops. It also helps with the anglerfish drop. You get the perfect kill drop of that. It's the prayer. You get the perfect kill drop of that, you get 6 compared to the base 4. Send the trips a lot, especially get a couple of those drops in a row. You have a little bit of time after the little particles from stun around him go away. You can heal on your way over. You can also attack him on your way over, but the damage is limited to 10 if you're not hitting him from the back after he's been stunned. So I don't do it. I think it might help a little bit, but it doesn't really seem worth it. You get maybe like 1 or 2 attacks off, and max like 20 damage. Here, I'm gonna toggle walk button set up in just settings. Makes it whenever you're holding that button, or you can click it. If you're set to run, it does the opposite. So since I have mine set to run, whenever I hold that button and click, it will instead have you walk. Just nice. Whenever I start running low on run energy, I can just start using that more often. If you have high enough agility, run energy probably won't be an issue at all, and if you have low enough, you'll probably have to think about it more, or it might even just be worth bringing the stamina potion. Another thing, I might have said this already, but when he does the transition, he'll drop rocks other than the ones directly on you, so just look below you for a second after, just to check if you need to move 2 tiles or 1. Set up. Okay. Just didn't move soon enough after. I was 1 tick late to attacking. Second time. If I was paying enough attention, I probably could have noticed that. I noticed I messed up the move, but I didn't think it would matter. Thought I had enough time. But... So make sure you don't drop rocks directly on like this square where the orb spawns. That will make it spawn in a different random corner. If you're not ready for it, you've got to run all the way around, get to it. You know, I thought he was dead there. I guess that was me. It was outside the AoE. Get the minimum damage off. Just kept attacking. I thought he was at like 17 and got a hit off. Thought it would just kill, but it didn't. Arrived on 6. Just kept attacking just in case. Or if I had swapped to the Bofa, I think it would have definitely killed. Just didn't have enough special attack energy for the second one. I'm gonna waste it at the very end. Be a really short trip if I don't get any kind of supply drop here. Maybe just 5 kills? I don't know what the rate of the supply drops is. I think it might be 1 in 6, but I might be remembering that from a different boss. So I have just taken a lot of extra damage. Missing prayer flicks. Another thing, if you're right next to this when it spawns, just be careful not to attack too early because it takes a second for it to register that you're in the area where you get the bonus damage. So if you attack with the Web Weaver bow too early, it won't do the guaranteed damage. So you might still do decent damage with it, but more than likely you'll miss a bunch of the hits or get low damage amounts. So I want to wait a little bit just to make sure. These guys, you can feed them. These leeches, you can like feed them items, and they will take it. So don't do it with an item you care about losing. You won't be able to get it back, but it will change their name to whatever you gave them. Just looked when I was trying to attack, and or I thought about it a little too late. Which one it exactly was. If I tried to attack there, I would have gotten hit by the boulder. Shooting at me. And even more of a mess. After you stun the Leviathan for... there we go. I made a bunch of mistakes there. Luckily didn't get punished. But after you stun the Leviathan and you're running around, you have to make sure you attack it fast enough. Even though earlier I was saying you have more time than you think. If you do mess it up, it will just continue on where it was in the attack speed. So, like, if you stop it right before it gets to the point where you can't handle the attack speed, it will just continue at the point where you can't handle it. So just be... if you notice that he's about to start attacking again, and you don't get the stun off, the hit to, like, reset him, just TP out. Pretty much definitely going to die. Keeping out here. I missed one attack, which might have been enough, but I don't know. I think that was one of the longer kills where I had a chance of... it was one of the kills that was taking longer, and since I was trying to talk, I wasn't paying as much attention. I didn't realize it. So I've gotten to the later phases where it's like increased attack speed again. I was probably going to die. Like, I could have probably done it, but I'd rather just TP out than die. A lot of this boss's money is from uniques, not like just as generic drops, so I don't want to risk dying as I kill it. You can't get the... one interesting thing is you can't get the vestige drop, which is the biggest item it can drop. You can't get that if you die, like even if you cross kill. You don't have to worry about that, but I think for the other ones you can still get it. Like, it can still drop loot. I don't actually know that for sure though. Also with the... I haven't checked the prices lately, but sometimes the crystal armor goes high enough that you have to pay 100k to get your loot back, and pretty much the one kills, like the average loot you get from one kill, not including the vestige, so I think it's worth it. Probably not exactly. Math probably doesn't exactly work out, but I don't want to die. Annoying to have to go back and get your stuff and then think about if you have enough supplies to just continue the trip, or you want to reset and resupply before. And also I'm not really trying to do this in the most efficient way to get the most money per hour. The chill boss to do. Good money, even if you're not doing it perfectly. And has some exciting drops. Really think of anything else to share about the boss? Definitely, at least for me, it was pretty overwhelming at first learning the flicks, because very hadn't done much bossing before this. So, like, the only thing like kind of comparable is TOA, which is pretty close because it has the prayers on impact instead of when the attack starts. So that was nice. Still took a while just to learn and get used to the prayer flicks and used to where everything was in the prayer book. After enough kills, it became pretty easy. haven't tried out the Awakened one. I don't have Torva, so I don't really see a point trying that until I get either. Might as well try it with the best gear I'll have, which will be when I have Torva. My other gear will probably be better than what this is now, so as well wait. That seems... it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I'll really be able to do it. I think it should be, like, learnable, but from what I've seen of people doing it, it looks quite a bit more difficult. I think one of the big things will be... I definitely do it with this gear, but having, what is it, Masori and the Zerite crossbow I think will be better, because it triples the health of the boss. So the Ruby Bolt specs will be more impactful for longer. Probably wait until I get that kind of gear to try that out. Close. Should've just waited to switch prayers before drinking the prayer potion. A really big prayer drop on the spec. I'd already gotten a big hit right before, so I swapped, so I would have more special attack energy, but almost made some mistakes because of that, so might not have been worth it. I think usually I average like 24 kills an hour, but I mean, like mistakes and just taking more damage because I'm less focused. It's 22. There's a plugin called Boss Tracker, or like Bossing Infos, that's the one. Use some stats at your grip. It's nice for just figuring out how much time you're spending on everything. And everything you dropped in the session. thought about this earlier, but forgot to. You can use either Shadow Spell to stun it. You don't have to use the higher tier one, which can save you some money. Less rune cost. It costs, I think, a third. It's, I don't know, it's like half. Cost half as many runes, but I think it might stun for slightly less time, but it's not enough less that it's an issue. At least it hasn't been for me. Yeah, you can use Shadow Rush instead of Shadow Burst. Done 1 HP from the specs. Well, another interesting thing, these runes are kind of annoying for this because they add the smoke spells to your spell book, or like you can cast them once you get the drop. You probably just leave it on the floor until you are done with the trip, but I usually pick them up in case I die or leave early, which it's not, I usually don't, but I don't know. I just like picking them up. Just something to keep in mind, that your spellbook will be a little bit different after you pick them up. So you don't cast the wrong spell. I'm getting low on food again. We're gonna need another supply drop or anglerfish drop to keep going on this trip. Gotten the loot we had today. I didn't think it's been great. None of the like more notable drops of the Awakener orbs or any of the uniques. And a few of the, what is it, javelin? Yeah, they're pretty good money. Ain't really that great. There's a supply drop. If you have enough of those supply drops or the anglerfish drops, you'll be 10 kills into a trip and just have a full inventory of food like you just showed up. It's kind of funny. I just messed that up. First, like, autopilot into doing the rock with lightning. Had enough time to get back, and then I just misclicked on the wrong tile for the second attacks, but luckily they're not too far off. We'll have enough time. It's getting pretty close. I should have frozen it, so it was about to go faster attack speed, but it's like 4 HP off rage phase, so I didn't really want to. Got unlucky there, it could have been stuck prayer flicking for a while, but got the hit pretty early on. Food again. We're gonna get another supply drop before, or I guess on this kill, I guess maybe go for 2 kills here as long as I don't take too much damage. Or is this going to be the end of this trip? Stepped under a rock there. It's not sure when you can actually take damage from the falling rocks. I think it's just the like animation or little like shadow for them stays a little bit after they've already gone. There's the supply drop right on time. Kill's going pretty quick. So with the lightning special attack, you don't have to worry about ending it early, but with the rock one, if you hit him into his enrage phase before he's dropped all the rocks, he will still do the scream after, so you've got to be careful, because you can't just die to that. There, that rock was in the way, so it pulled me, like, you see how it passed me backwards so I could get the hits off? That was a little dangerous. Another supply drop. I guess we're going for a little while longer. That was a pretty quick kill. Was that? That might have been my fastest kill. Yeah, that was the new personal best. It pretty much is just getting enough of the big hits early. Not really much. There's not a ton of skill to the faster kills than this. It's pretty much luck. At least up to a certain point. Once you get fast enough. Like at the very fast kills, there definitely is more skill to it. At least for what I'm doing, it's just some kills you get luckier than others, and that determines most of it. I feel like I've taken a lot of damage. I don't know if it's just the screen between phases has a bigger max hit or if I missed some prayers. Paying attention. That could have been bad. Especially since I was already a little bit lower health. But yeah, it's like this kill, by this time of the last kill, it was like 200 HP. It was 280 HP. So did an extra 250 damage to that one. The one thing that's a little bit annoying about this boss is even with the Bofa, is a pretty accurate weapon. It can just be surprisingly inconsistent. It's not like some other bosses where there's like fence training specials you can use. No way to really make that better other than getting better stats and better gear. There, did I take a hit, or that's just the scream? I took more damage than I thought I would. Hmm. I don't actually know the max hit of the scream, so maybe it's just that. Maybe high roll a couple times in a row. End up with me lower health than I thought I'd be, but not sure. There. It dropped the first rock on top of you, and then the second rock, one over. You have to move twice. Not paying attention, you can get hit there. Here, I'm just gonna freeze it. Not getting enough damage. This is where it's a little dangerous, because it's going to be lightning. Oh wait, no. I was completely wrong. First one was lightning, that was from... Yeah, I just wasn't paying enough attention. Saw a bunch of rocks together and kind of assumed the first special was rocks, but no, that was just from like just before. I just wasn't paying attention. Other supply drop. I guess we keep going. Even through my mistakes, the boss provides. Or some bosses it might be annoying to get supply drops. You don't really need them, or like if you're like going for the base loot of the boss, getting supply drops instead of loot might be annoying, but I think, at least for me, for a boss like this where most of it is in the big ticket unique drops, getting the supply drops to extend trips doesn't feel like it feels pretty good. I don't really care about the normal loot that it would be replacing. I guess that's one thing I understand that might make that feel better is the boss rolls for if you get a unique before it rolls what you get from a normal drop. So if you get a unique, that happens before you would get a supply drop, so it's not like the supply drop is taking up the unique drop. It's instead of normal loot, but it's never going to be instead of a unique. Just click there. A little dangerous. There's a supply drop. Out of Divine Raging Potion, that's probably when I'll be done. The Raging Potion's gonna run out mid-kill. I will grab one of the supply drop also drops regular Raging Potions, and I'll grab one of those to extend a kill, but I'm not gonna be I don't feel like using those throughout a kill. Really. Having the Divine ones just to keep the buff up at max. I have no worrying about like missing a max hit or something. Just find it better. I think the Divine Raging Potions also aren't very expensive, so... enough of a difference in cost between the normal ones and Divine ones to not use them. At least for me. Yeah, there was a bunch of rocks in the way. If I just clicked over to the other side of him, I would have gotten hit by one of them. I guess at least I probably would have gotten hit by one. You can't just take the chance and YOLO it. Right at the end, just all of the supply drops. That was pretty bad. So he doesn't attacking again. Yeah. Messed up the prayers, or I don't know if I misclicked or it was just a really late cast and I canceled it. It's pretty dangerous. I misclicked the prayer. I mess up the next one. More sneakers. What happened that last kill is kind of why I like using the Angler Fizz, just in case something goes wrong. You have that extra buffer of health. It's also more time before you have to heal to the chip damage. This will probably be the last kill. Range potion's gonna run out pretty much all out of supplies. Even if I get another supply drop, I'm not gonna use the regular range potions. So we get some big hits here. I get a pretty low HP. It'll be fine, but just a little bit riskier than I would like. Trying to get me to keep going, but it's the end. It's like there's like 6 supply drops strewn around the arena there, not even including the anglerfish from all the range potions I could see on the ground. Now I'm gonna teleport the G, sell off everything from this session. So, nothing too big. Generic drops, I think, is kind of a mess, so. I was doing Musa in here, so some of these drops are from that. It looks so unorganized. I think that's it. I'll see when I sell it. It's only 1 mil, but a lot of it is just fishing for the unique drop, so too bad. I definitely just leave this up for higher prices. Smoke rooms are interesting. I think this might be smoke rooms might be a good flip. Because at least from when I've been doing this, they've gone from like 39 down to like the 26 they are now and up, back and forth quite a bit. Yeah, so a little bit less than it says, but some of those are in the supply drops. Just 1 mil, not bad. Just kind of build up a cash stack right now. Oh, and also one thing, if you're doing this boss, you'll end up with soul runes going in here if you get that drop. Something to think about, or like check every once in a while. You might end up with a couple mil of soul runes just waiting in your rune pouch. Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Gonna be the video for now. If you've got this far, thanks for watching. If there's any like comments or suggestions you have for especially audio stuff, I'm not sure if the audio setup's super great, but any suggestions for that, or like anything you hear that you don't like. But might just occasionally put out videos of me just doing random stuff like this in random games, but yeah. Thanks for watching.